Well, finally, something is working. Finally. All right. So Q&A. Let's do this. Let's do a Q&A. I've been meaning to do this Q&A uh, for Christmas and Thanksgiving, but I just had so many things going on. There was no way I could have done it. So I figure let's just do it this first year of 2020, January 5th, Sunday. So this is like my very first video this year of 2020 doing Q&A. So I figured now's the perfect time for you guys to ask me questions and stuff regarding televisions, Google Stadia, consoles, projectors, monitors, etc., 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 etc. So I will answer those questions, but I will not answer any personal questions about me. That I will not talk about, but I will talk about anything regarding tech. Hey Patrick, how you doing? Not much, man. Just been trying to do some live streams today. I've been having some problems with my PlayStation VR and my console. I don't know what's going on, dude. I might have to open up my console and clean it up or something. You know. Thank you, thank you. Been trying to. Yeah, no more flu. No more flu, man. I'm definitely better now. No more flu, man. And thank God, because I really didn't want do any streams while I got that flu. Now that I don't have a flu, I'm much better. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you. Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate that. You know, and I've been meaning to do this video. I've been meaning to do this live stream for you guys because it's, it's difficult for me to answer questions when I'm doing a live stream, like playing a video game, because I'm trying to focus on a video game when I'm playing a video game. So it's difficult for me to answer questions, any kind of technical questions, when I'm doing a live stream of a video game. If I'm doing it like this, then I can answer any questions, no problem. Um, hey, what's up, William? How you doing? You just got Google Stadia and it works. Why people hate it? I don't see where the hate comes from. It comes from console fanboys, individuals who love their consoles, individuals who love their, brand, and they don't want to see cloud gaming advance. They like physical media. I love physical media. Okay. No one likes physical media than me. Here, let me show you how much I love my physical media. All right. This is a physical media guy. No one likes physical media more than me. But I'm not going to lie and tell people some dishonest crap about a service that it works. I'm not going to lie and say it doesn't work when in fact it does work. Well, here's one good example today. Today I was going to do guess what? From a console. I was going to do a Gran Turismo PlayStation VR at 720p 60. Guess what? It wasn't my internet. Clearly, you can see it's not my internet. I got a pretty good internet. You see that modem behind me? That's the XFI Advantage. Guess what? No issues with the internet. Internet runs fine. Guess where the issue was? Issue was with the console, with the PlayStation 4 Pro. Something wrong with the hardware. I don't know what's going on. It's just glitching and glitching and glitching and glitching. Might have to clean the fan. I don't know. So, I see your argument on why you don't like the cloud gaming, but listen, there's a lot of headaches you can have with the hardware. Like today, I couldn't play Gran Turismo Sport. Do you know why? Because there's a problem with the hardware. If I was playing Gran Turismo Sport VR on the Google Stadia, there wouldn't be any issues because I'm playing it from a data center. and all I need is the internet. So you see, there's a trade-off on both sides of the aisle. On one side of the aisle, something can happen with your computer. Something can happen with your laptop. Your laptop could overheat. Your laptop could have some issues with the power adapter. With the hardware, you can always have issues. With a cloud gaming, it sits there at the cloud data center. They take care of it all the time. They maintenance it every day. They take care of it. All you need is the internet. So to me, I like the convenience where I can kick back, relax, jump on my bed, and just start playing Google Stadia. Just start playing games just like that. Because you know why? Because some of us are tired. We work. Everybody works, for as far as I understand. And the last thing you want to do, come back home and then deal with some bullshit, not being able to, run your games, or you're having issues with your console, or you're having issues with your PC, technical issues, and you're going to bump into those issues. Guess what? With Google Stadia, as long as you got your internet running, you don't have to worry about those issues. So there's a trade-off on both sides, but nobody wants to talk about the trade-off of both sides. Sure, physical media, you get to keep your movie. I get to keep this Godzilla and watch this Godzilla till the end of time. After the apocalypse, if I have a generator, I can still watch this underground. Yes, I understand that argument as well. But people also need to understand the other argument, and they don't want to listen to that other argument of the other side of the aisle. And that's the problem. And that's the problem with the fanboys. And that's why I'm calling you guys out. Natara Brown, is the soap opera effect on the Sony X900E or any TV capable of soap opera effect 4K 60 FPS? Yes, you can do it. You can do it, but you're going to see a bit of a ghosting depending on your processor. Sony X900E doesn't have that powerful of a processor to handle something like a 4K 60 with motion flow. But you're going to see a bunch of ghosting, like a judder. I call it ghosting. They call it judder. You'll see that judder. Like when I'm moving my, head left and right, you'll see judder. So far, I would say LG has a pretty good motion flow. I've tested LG. I use my LG E8 on the OLED, and I've been watching some movies with motion flow. And when you put on smooth, there's really barely any judder, and it's really smooth. It feels like you're really watching like Days of Our Lives, soap opera TV show. If I'm not mistaken, you have unlimited storage space with Stadia, and that's a plus. Yeah, you don't have to worry about, running out of space. You don't have to worry about, do you have an extra storage? You don't have to worry about anything. The only thing you have to worry about is just your internet. Now, the downside is if Google Stadia shuts down, then you lose all those games. But that's the risk you take, and that's something you agree on. I know Google Stadia is not for everyone, and I'm not saying that everyone should have Google Stadia, but I think it's unfair that Google Stadia is getting this type of a treatment where it's not getting a fair shake. That's the problem. I think every service should have its own country or its own island. It can exist, okay? But according to the fanboys out there, it shouldn't exist. So how is that fair? How is that fair? I don't think that's fair. I think Google Stadia should exist. Cloud gaming should exist. So that way people have alternative option. I like variety. And I see, Patrick, you like variety too. I think it's good to have variety. There's nothing wrong with the variety. If there was no variety, well, guess what? It would be boring. We would all be bored every day, waking up, talking about the same crap, agreeing with each other on the same shit. It would be a boring, boring, boring ass life. But when you have variety, that's good. It doesn't make it boring. It makes it more interesting. Well, the internet can be a big factor for a lot of things. We live in a day and age where internet's being used constantly. I mean, look at all the businesses that are running through internet. Look at all the websites. Look at all the services that are running through the internet. So the internet, it's always uh, something that you're going to need. It's not just for the cloud gaming. Internet, it's a necessity. There's a lot of stuff you can do if you don't have internet. If you don't have internet, um, you pretty much you're kind of isolated from the rest of the world. You're living off the grid pretty much. Um, so the only good thing about not having internet is this right here, this right here. Watching these movies, watching these movies in 3D. By the way, this thing looks great in 3D. This one right here, Live, Die, Repeat. This thing right here is just fantastic in 3D. This is probably one of the best 3Ds I ever seen. Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. This has to be the next to Avatar. I would say the best 3D. Seriously, man, this thing is good. These are all from UK. They're like imported. Because you can't walk into a Best Buy, you can't walk into like your regular store and buy this. You have to buy this from somewhere else. But these are all region unlocked. All of those are region unlocked. That's the ones I buy. It's just the region unlocked. It has to be unlocked. I only have right now at the moment. I have three. I think one, two. I think four because I gave away two to some relatives and some friends. So I think I gave away three TVs I gave away. But now I have one, two, three, four. I got four. Hey, how you doing, Stadia USA? What's happening, man? I'm doing good. Just been trying to get some, you know, live stream going today, but I couldn't do it because I had some issues with my PlayStation. My PlayStation wasn't working that properly. Um, the one I have is the Kratos PlayStation. This is the one right here. This one right here. I've been having some issues with this one, the Kratos edition. I think I might have to clean the fan or something. It's just it's glitching constantly. It's glitching. I tried every game. It's just glitching and glitching and glitching. So I don't know what's going on. So how you been, Stadia USA? How you doing, man? Yeah, we should definitely do that podcast for sure. There was another guy who would like to join us to do a podcast. He was here yesterday. He's going to contact me through Twitter. And I'm trying to get Sunny from the X Cloud to join us as well. So I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna let you know this week, probably by Tuesday, Stadia USA. I'm gonna message you. I'm gonna let you know when we can do it. I think the best way to do it, in my opinion, I think it's Google Hangout. We should all do a Google Hangout, and we should all do it and do that podcast for like an hour and a half, uh, and then have people ask some questions regarding that. Yeah, we should try to get them. If you can get them on board, that would be great. There's another guy I want to get called Stadia. Uh, what was his name? There's two more. There's one guy, Stadia Cast, and there's another one, Stadia Generation, Stadia Generation. There's another guy I'm trying to get on board, but we'll see. Hey, what's up, Ivan? How you doing? Do you think Samsung S10 has a good HDR screen? Um, well, I never heard of that model, as a matter of fact. I'm not familiar with that. I'm not familiar with that S10 because I know in Europe. In Europe, they have a different names for it. I'm only familiar with Q7, Q8, KS. In Europe, they might call them something different, so I'm not sure. Oh, It's a phone Galaxy S10. Oh, okay. Oh, absolutely, man. It's an AMOLED screen. I have my Galaxy 10 Plus. It's right here. It's perfect, man. It works great. Yeah. Yeah, AMOLED screen, dude. You're not gonna go wrong with the AMOLED. AMOLED screen is great. Samsung makes great screens, man. You're not gonna go wrong with that, especially with the 10 series, 10 plus, especially with the 10 plus. If you get a 10 plus, dude, that 6.8 inches, it's just perfect. Hey, what's up, Jamie? How you doing, man? What's happening? Who's that? Wingy from Glory of Stadia. I know I got a bunch of you guys on my Google Stadia, my Google Stadia friend list. I got like 70, I think like 70 something friends just on Google Stadia alone. Hey, what's up, Brendan? How you doing, man? What's going on? Well, I'm just here, just waiting for you guys to ask some questions. Oh yeah, I already told you guys my Brandon Herman. Okay, do me a favor. You can add me as well. Just type in Stadia upscaler. Just type in Stadia upscaler. There's only one Stadia upscaler there, so just type in Stadia upscaler and you're gonna see me. Oh, come on, man. You guys have so many questions when I'm playing a video game, but now you guys are thinking about what to ask me. You need a new advice. Soon you'll be buying a new TV, hopefully 65 inch, either LG C9 or QLED. What do I think? Um, they're both great TVs. You know, Q90R is great at 65 inch, and C9 is obviously great. It has HDMI 2.1 and it has G-Sync, so you can connect your graphics cards and video graphics cards to that OLED. Um, Jamie, in my opinion, they're both great TVs, but it really depends on what is it that it's appeasing to you. I would suggest going to Magnolia or in the United Kingdom out there. I don't know if you guys have Magnolia or not. In UK, maybe you can go to a shop somewhere, look at both TVs side by side, ask one of the representatives. They will show you the TVs. They're there to sell TVs, so they're going to demonstrate everything to you. If you ask them to show you side by side the difference of the TV, they'll do that for you. Go to the shop, look at both TVs, do some more research. It's hard for me to give any recommendations because OLED definitely, in my opinion, gives out the best possible picture quality. There's nothing that comes close to the OLED, in my opinion. Now, QLED, it's bright. Q90R, it's a very bright TV. But the question is, do you really need that much of a bright TV? You're not living in like a big giant house that's like a 2,000 square feet, where you got a bunch of light coming in. So I would say it depends, man. They're both great TVs. Listen, you're not going to go wrong if you go with a Q90R, and you're not going to go wrong if you go with the C9. They're both excellent TVs, top of the line. They're top of the line at the moment. So it just depends on your preference. OLED brings out that natural picture quality, and you got to see it for yourself to understand the difference. You cannot watch videos. You cannot watch all these reviews. You have to go out and bring it home to see it for yourself and then you're gonna say, "Oh damn!" When for the very first time, when you bring your OLED home, when you connect it to your, uh, when you connect it to your outlet, connect your cable box, your PlayStation, Xbox, what have you. When you first turn on that OLED TV, man, it is like it feels as if you're looking through a aquarium, like one of those theme parks aquariums, and you're looking through it. Everything's so clean and crystal and fluid. Um, it's something you got to see for yourself. It's hard to describe it, but then again, that's something only you can decide. What's the best decision? You know. Let's see what else we got. Brendan Lee. Mm, you're welcome. Adam Vet. Have you got in mind trusted supplier? How could ship it to UK? It looks like a restricted product because of AGR and Hobby Vision feature. Not sure what you're talking about, Adam. Jamie, chop chop. When will you get 8K? Ivan asks. Well, I've been thinking about it during the summer because TCL will be a sponsor to the Summer Olympics of 2020, and they will release this TCL 8K television sometime in June or May. So somewhere between May and June, expect to see me kind of like hunting for TCL 8K. It's gonna be difficult to get that TV because a lot of people are going to be buying it. A lot of people are going to jump on it because it's going to be the most affordable TCL 8K television coming out this summer. You guys can go Google it, type in TCL 8K Summer Olympics, and you will see more information on it. So that's what I'm looking for, and but we'll see. We'll see. I like to take it one day at a time because lately I've been having a lot of bad luck, dude. A lot of stuff's been breaking. My internet's been bad. My projector's been dying. The other PlayStation is dying. So there's a lot of stuff happening. I don't know what's going on. I think there's a ghost inside the house or some shit. So uh, the main reason I want to try, even the main reason I want to try 8K is because I want to see how much of a difference does it make when you are watching a 4K movie upscaled to 8K. Does it make much of a difference? Does it help? Does it sharpens the picture? Stuff like that I want to see. Same thing with playing video games. How does Forza Horizon 4 looks from Xbox One X enhanced being upscaled to 8K with 33 million pixels? How does it look? How does the cable look? How does the 1080p digital programming looks being upscaled to 8K? All sorts of different things I want to test. I want to see how Netflix looks being upscaled to 8K, Amazon, all these Disney Plus. Oh, dude, there's so much tests to be done for me with the 8K. I mean, truckload of videos. It's like all over again. I would have to test everything all over again. So I think 8K seems like the most reasonable, most plausible next step for me to take during the summer of May, possibly May or June, depending when they release it in North America. But it's going to be during the summer. Let's see what else we got. You're welcome, Jamie. You guys are typing super fast. Let me see. Xbox Series X 8K and Stadia 8K. Yes, Stadia USA. I think 8K will happen. Speaking of Google Stadia, there's a good rumor that the Google Stadia might be showing up at the CES Vegas. So we'll see. We'll see. If they don't show up at the CES Vegas, then I'm a bit worried. I'm a bit worried because they need to be more. The one criticism that I always had about Phil Harrison and Google Stadia is I just wish that Google Stadia would be more outspoken about their projects, about what they're doing. You know, kind of like the way Phil Spencer is passionate about his projects. Um, I would just love to see them be more passionate about it and be more outspoken about it. Because right now, they're giving all the leverage by not saying anything. What Google Stadia is doing, by not saying anything, they're really helping all these haters. They're really giving all the necessary ammo to all these haters, because then these haters are going to say, you see, I told you. They're not saying anything, they're not talking, they're not doing interviews because we are right, because they're dead on arrival. It's a failed product. Da, 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 da. And I don't know why Google is doing this. I really don't understand. And it's a bit surprising because Google, it's a big juggernaut of a company. Put me as a CEO for the Google Stadia, and you'll see how quickly I'll turn things around. I'm determined. Uh, I'm ambitious, man. I'm a determined. I will make things turn around. But I don't know. Phil Harrison doesn't really strike me as somebody that has that high energy like Phil Spencer. Um, maybe Phil Harrison wasn't the right guy to start Google Stadia. I don't know. Let me see. I tried putting my Switch. I still have my Switch still over there, but I need to dust it off. I need to turn it on, man. I haven't used my Switch God knows when. I mean, geez. Um, I tried putting my Switch in the Xbox One X on the app. It's having really bad issues on my Xbox. Not sure, Brendan. You mean you connecting your Switch to your Xbox? Hold on. Do you think, Ivan Maric says, do you think 4K is relevant standard today? Yeah, because there's a lot of medium, there's a lot of entertainment, there's a lot of 4K content. There's a tons of 4K content. I mean, when you look at Disney Plus, when you look at Amazon Prime, when you look at Netflix, when you look at Hulu, when you look at 4K UHD Blu-ray movies, when you look at Xbox One X, PlayStation 4 Pro, there's a tons of 4K content. So yeah, it's relevant. However, when it comes to broadcasting on a television, they're lacking. They are really not doing. They're not switching to 4K that quick and that fast. I don't know why. Um, but that's television. But who watches? Honestly, I don't know who watches the original programming. People are watching Netflix. People are watching Amazon. No one's watching these televisions, these programs, these channels, these sponsored channels. No one's watching that crap. Honestly, maybe some old people, but majority of people are watching Amazon, Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, Xbox, PlayStation 4 Pro. That's what people are watching and playing. So, and of course, 4K UHD players, Oppo UDP 203 or Panasonic, the latest one. People are watching 4K UHD Blu-rays, of course. So yeah, 4K it's relevant for sure. Hold on, some people may say there's gonna be a Switch Pro. Possibly. Do you think 4K will be standard for the next generation consoles? Air TV in Croatia is 1080p and 720p. Same thing here. Even marriage, same thing here. You can get NBC and CBS and ABC. You can get it for. You can buy an antenna. You can buy an antenna. You can get all your local channels like ABC, NBC, Fox through Air antenna, digital Air antenna. You can get 1080 interlace and 720p. And in some cases, 1080p. Let me see. Some people say there's going to be a Switch Pro. Well, until I officially hear it from Nintendo, then I'll believe it. When I put my Switch into my Xbox One X, the video keeps cutting out from the personally when I tried it a month ago. That could be something with your HDMI cable. You might have to check your HDMI cable. You might have to connect your. That's why I recommend Belkin. Get yourself a Belkin HDMI cable. Don't use the ones that came with Nintendo Switch. Use Belkin cables, man. They're the best. Have you heard supposed rumors about power of the next generation console? Uh, well, I heard bunch of back and forth. The blue team is saying that it doesn't matter. Our PlayStation 5 is still more powerful. The green team is saying that we're the most powerful. So there's like bunch of back and forth, the usual circle jerk going around. But both consoles are created by AMD. GPU, it's AMD. CPU, it's AMD. So they're both identical in terms of what they can achieve. Like I said, it will only depend on developers. What type of developers do you have? And how much are they willing to utilize the power of that console? Remember, everything will jump. All this weight will go on developers' laps. Developers are the one that will have to get to work and try to utilize the power from the X Series X and PlayStation 5. They have to utilize that power. They have to harness that power. You know, don't think, a lot of people have this misconception. They think when they get their PlayStation 5 this holiday season 2020, they think automatically that their game's going to look photorealistic, that everything's going to look super smooth, super great. No, there's going to be a bunch of patches and updates. Developers have to learn about the system. It takes time. It takes time for developers to learn about the system. It takes time for them to figure out how to, use their existing engine and to translate it with this custom-made GPU and CPU by AMD. Okay, so, but both console are pretty much identical. They're pretty much identical in terms of power, and they're both are designed by AMD. I don't think there's going to be a difference in who has more horsepower. The difference is who has more exclusives and who has better exclusives that look better. And who's going to win that title? Well, of course, PlayStation. PlayStation 5 is going to win that title, without a doubt. That's just a fact, But then again, I don't think Microsoft is competing with PlayStation. I really don't think they're competing. What's your thought on Cyberpunk 2077? My thoughts on the Cyberpunk 2077. I'm excited, bro. I can't wait to play it. I can't wait to test it on Google Stadia to see how it runs on Google Stadia versus PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X, and of course the PC. I want to check the PC version as well. I like to see CES PlayStation 5 going to be that rumor. It's everywhere. That would be awesome if Sony shows up at the CES Vegas, but I think it's still too early. They're not going to do it yet. I think they're going to wait till summer. And during the summer, they're going to show you everything. Mark Cerny is going to come up to the stage. They're going to show you the console. They're going to show you how it looks. They're going to show you what's inside. They're going to show you the user interface. And then they're going to tell you the pricing. They're going to put the pricing. They're going to put the price. And then they're going to tell you the pre-order is available right now. And then you got to have your laptop next to you on Amazon. As soon as Mark Cerny says pre-order right now, you got to click pre-order. And it's probably going to be November 15th. I think around November 15th is where we might see PlayStation 5. But that's just me. I could be wrong, I don't know what Sony's cooking. They could be cooking anything. Let's see what else we have. Uh, do you think PCs are overpriced? It depends. It depends on who you ask, and it depends on what purpose are you using a PC for. If you are using a PC for live streaming, like I do, then you're gonna need something powerful, guys. That capture card that I have, that 4K stream that I did yesterday, that's expensive. You got to pay $350 for a capture card. You got to pay a $500 for a graphics card. You got to build a really good PC. So all of that costs money. You know, so if you're doing it for live streaming, it could be worth it. If you are somebody who is doing a bunch of video editing, photo editing, or somebody who is creating music and using some very high end software for music to create bunch of music and then sell the music on the SoundCloud. Um, for you, that's something that it might be worth it. Or if you're somebody who is doing a documentary, you got a bunch of cameras and you need to have a powerful GPU, powerful CPU, so you can video edit through Adobe Premiere. So for you, it might be worth the price of the admission. But for everyday Joe, everyday Mary, I don't know, maybe not. So it's subjective. It's like I said, it depends on who you ask. What's up, Snoozer? How you doing? Are you playing Resident Evil 3 remake? Yeah, Jamie, I'm gonna play it as soon as it becomes released. Absolutely, and I'm gonna live stream it from PC. I'm only gonna do a PC version because there will be a bunch of mods, and it's gonna look really good on 4K, 4K native live stream. So, I mean, it's going to look freaking fantastic. That live stream, it's something you guys want to tune on and turn on and watch that stream, because that stream is going to be crystal clear, sharp, native 4K, source, native 4K, output source, live stream. So, can't wait for you guys to see that in April. Do you still upscale Nintendo Switch to Xbox One S? Can you see the difference? No, I don't do it. I don't do it anymore because it's just too much of a bottleneck, and it's just not worth it because it's not a pass through. You see, in order for you to truly take the advantage of the upscaling, the HDMI input has to be a pass through. If it's not a pass through, then you cannot pass through that source resolution to upscale it to 4K. Um, I do have my Oppo UDP 203. I did try, however, to connect my Nintendo Switch through my Oppo UDP 203 because my Oppo UDP 203 has the pass-through HDMI in 2.0 HDCP 2.2 pass through, HDCP 2.2 pass through, so it can pass through and it can upscale. And Oppo UDP 203 has a fantastic upscaling chip, probably one of the best. So I would connect definitely. If you have an Oppo UDP 203, connect your Nintendo Switch and upscale that son of a bitch. Maybe I'll do a video to show you guys. I still have my Oppo. It's still there. I still have it. It's a beast. I still have the remote. And the Oppo has the best remote I have ever seen, guys. The Oppo is, let me tell you, things right here. It's a big, giant remote. Look at this thing. This thing is gigantic, man. Look at this. One of the best. Look at the batteries since 2017. Since 2017, I never needed to change a battery. That's the Oppo UDP 203 for you. The best 4K player, 4K machine ever created in history of mankind. And that's a mouthful, but yes, it is. See what else we got going on. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Snoozer. CS Amazon Cloud Gaming announced that's gonna be crazy. I can't wait to see what Jeff Bezos is gonna do. Gotta remember, Jeff Bezos is dominating. That guy is a trillionaire, man. That guy has more money than God. So Amazon already owns the Twitch. So Amazon already has the upper hand when it comes to like streaming, cloud streaming, and also making it easier for everybody on the Twitch to stream the games. I don't know, man. Google really needs to pay attention. Uh, uh, Look, there's a good possibility Google Stadia might fail. There's listen. We have to look at plan B, plan C, plan D, plan. Look, we have to look at the worst case scenario. There's a good possibility that Google Stadia might fail. I hope they don't, but then again, there's a good possibility they might fail if they don't get their shit together, if they don't start like really rolling the ball. Um, Gotta watch out for Amazon. Hopefully, Amazon will be a wake up call for Google. Hopefully, Valve, Gabe Newell, Steam will be a wake up call for Google Stadia. So, and then we'll see what Microsoft's going to do with the xCloud. So there's a lot of wake up calls for Google Stadia, and they better get their, they better keep up, man. This is a fight. This is a sport. It's a contact sport, really. It's a competition. You got to go out there. You got to win. You got to go out there, got to win. If you don't win, that's it. You're done. That's the way it is, guys. Let me see. What's your opinion on Elon Musk? Elon Musk's definitely a smart guy. He definitely is one of those engineers who likes to push the envelope, who likes to figure out the way to make something that's impossible possible. He has a much broader vision. He's definitely it's passionate about electrical cars running on the electric. And that's a good thing that he's passionate about that, because we could definitely use more electrical cars instead of fuel and oil. I think oil, it's one of those things that it's still going to be around, but if Elon Musk's continues the way he continues, I think we might see things changing in the future. He's a smart guy. He's a smart guy. And what he's doing with the SpaceX and his vision to get us to Mars and colonize the Mars, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be him, guys. Elon Musk, it's a young guy. Even if he's 70 years old, and if we colonize, if we move to Mars, if we land to Mars and he's 70 years old, it's going to be one man who made that happen. It's going to be him, Elon Musk. Of course, with the help of NASA and other contractors, subcontractors. Maybe Jeff Bezos will join Elon Musk. Maybe it will be a joint effort task to do that. Who knows? I think the only way, in my opinion, the only way we're going to land to Mars, it's a joint effort, meaning that we're all going to have to join China, Russia, United States, Japan. We're all going to have to join in, and that's like the only way that we're going to make it happen. That's like the most reasonable, and I hope it's that way. I hope that you see everybody's flag. I hope that you see variety of different flags on Mars, so that way that we all come in as together, as united. I hope it's just not us Americans, I think we need to get rid of that pride. Enough with this bullshit pride. We're landing there as human beings. Okay, we're all humans. They don't look at us with borders and different flags. They look at us as human beings. So let's land on the Mars as human beings. That's how we should land. But we're so far from that, man. We're so far. I don't know if it's going to happen in my lifetime. Listen, man, we're so far from landing on Mars. It's not going to happen. Not even 20 years from now. Guys, we got so much to clean up here on this planet. We got so much to learn. We haven't changed. We're getting worse. As a matter of fact, we're getting worse. We're like, remember, I was talking about divisions. There's so many divisions these days, and I don't know what's going to happen. What's going to look? There was this guy uh, who supposedly traveled through time. His name was Al Bielek, and he was part of the Navy. Uh, this ship that was in Philadelphia, uh, I forgot the name of the ship, but this ship apparently they were able to build the time travel machine with help of Nikola Tesla and other scientists and other German scientists who were there. And they were experimenting with the time travel. And this individual, Al Bielek, was able to travel through time. And he said when he went to 20, what was it? What did he say? 2038 or 20? I forgot which year it was. 21. I'm sorry. 2138. He went to 2138, and he said he woke up at the hospital, and the reason they told him he's at the hospital is because of a lot of radiation. He was exposed to a lot of radiation due through his body traveling through time and space. And they told him, he asked when he like turned on the TV, they had a TV with something, it was still flat. There were still panels. He said they still had panels in 2138, very a tiny, thin panels they had on the wall. They're like like a paper thin panels. And he said when he turned on the TV, they were showing the map of the world. And the maps of the world are so different than what we have now. Like geography is so different in 2138 than what it is right now. And they said that there was some major war that happened in 2050 or something like that, where so much has changed. So many people have been killed. So much has been depopulated. The world has been depopulated to like 500 million instead of just 7.4 billion. And they got the robots and AI keeping tabs on the humans. They're constantly checking humans. They have a chip installed on the humans. This guy, Al Bielek, said that something major will happen in the future, that all of this will, like, it's going to cease to exist, what we know. It's going to be so different. But it's not going to happen in my lifetime. It's not going to happen in your lifetime. But this is what this guy, Al Bielek, said. It's called the Philadelphia Experiment. He was part of Philadelphia Experiment and the Montauk Project in Long Island, New York. Montauk Project. There's a place called the Montauk with a big, radar. During World War II, they had that radar. It used to be an Air Force there, but it turned into this facility base where they were doing all these different tests. Now, this is what he said. You guys can learn more about that. Go to the YouTube, type in Al Bielek time travel. I think the guy's pretty legit because the way he talks about it, it's very accurate and legit. And some of the stuff he really nailed. He predicted some stuff on there if you guys watched that video. But anyway, so I don't know, man, if we're going to land to Mars or not. I have no idea. I think we still have a lot to learn as human beings, man. We're still operating with this mentality of I'm the best, you suck, your flag sucks, my flag is better. Your face and your ethnicity sucks, mine's better. my God is better than your God. We still have these divisions of tribalism, and this divisions of tribalism and this power hunger. It's going to be our. It's going to destroy us, pretty much. It's going to destroy us, and that's what Al Bielek said. He said that the way we are continuing, it will destroy us, uh, and it's going to be inevitable. Like he said, it's going to happen. There's going to be a major conflict, and that's what he said. Now, can I 100% believe what this man says? To me personally, the way he talked, he's passed away right now. He's not alive, but the way he talked was pretty freaking convincing. Anyway, let's move on to some other questions. Hey, my review everything. How you doing, brother? Happy 2020 to you as well. What collection do you have in gaming, games, consoles? Look at all those games. Those are just some of them right there. Those are just some of the PlayStation 4 Pro games that I have. I got like my original PlayStation 3, fat, still works. I can play PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 games. I've got two PlayStation 4 Pros. I've got Nintendo Switch. I got Xbox One X. I got total of digitally and physical media close to 480 games. Excuse me, 480 games. I got a lot of PlayStation games. I get but a little bit, just to get paid a little bit. It's not much. It's honestly, it's a joke. It's really what I get paid. It's like nothing. It's peanut. It's really a peanut. You would laugh. You would laugh about it if I showed you what I get paid. Is there like a external 4K upscaler that you recommend other than Xbox? That's a good question. Yes. Oppo UDP 203. Oppo UDP 203 is your best upscaler. Now, next to the Oppo UDP 203, I would also recommend a the NVIDIA Shield Pro. Guys, I've heard nothing but great things about NVIDIA Shield Pro. They're saying NVIDIA has nailed it. They got an amazing upscaler where they can actually upscale any image, even 480p. They can make 480p look like really good on 4K. Fantastic pixel by pixel upscaler chip, and I really want to buy that that NVIDIA Shield Pro. Right now, it's currently sold out, but that's not going to stop me from buying NVIDIA Shield Pro. I'm going to definitely buy NVIDIA Shield Pro in the future, for sure, because I'm really excited about that. It has Dolby Vision, it's got Dolby Atmos, and the powerful CPU, GPU, and the memory. So can't wait to see how well it upscales. But from what I have seen, it does a fantastic job upscaling your existing content. Let me see. When will Amazon bring its cloud gaming? Any idea? Well, according to Stadia USA, he already told me that they might be coming into CES Vegas. So keep an eye on CES Vegas. Absolutely, Stadia USA. We're going to make it happen. I was thinking maybe we can do it this Friday. We can do a cloud. We can do a Google Hangout. Look, if no one else wants to join us, that's fine. It could be just me and you. But I prefer to do it on a, what you call it, Google Hangout. I think Google Hangout, it's better. People, we can see each other. Others can see us. And, I'm sure you're going to have your moderators. They're going to keep, everything running smoothly. But I think I would say Google Hangout, definitely for me. But whatever you want to do, that's fine. If you want to do a Discord or anything other than, it's fine by me. Why doesn't Google defend Stadia more aggressively in public? John Speed, that's a good question. I've been actually just talking about that before you came in, and I was criticizing Phil Harrison about that. Why is it that Google Stadia it's not being more outspoken about their future? Why is it that they're not doing a more interviews? Before they were launching it, they were doing tons of interviews, tons of stuff. Now they're so quiet; they're not saying anything, and that makes me worried a little bit, to a certain extent. But maybe Amazon will wake them up. Maybe Amazon cloud gaming service will wake them up, and maybe they're going to start uh, getting back on a horse. But look, guys, there's no guarantees on anything. You got to remember, everything you do in life, it's a risk. No one can guarantee you. There's no guarantees. Uh, can Google Stadia fail? Of course. It could fail, but ultimately, it will depend on Google. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know why they're not being more outspoken. Your guess is good as mine. Mr4K, I just wanted to thank you for advising the Samsung QLED rank. I got the Q9OR 55-inch, and it's simply out of this world. Yes, QLED, it's great, man. With a QLED, you are getting the super amazing spectrum of colors. Okay, the measurement of the what was it? The DCPI3 was I think 89%. So you have to remember, when it comes to QLEDs, you're getting the best possible spectrum of colors. And that's what these crystals, these quantum dots, that's what they're doing. They're outputting billions and billions and billions of colors for you to see that. And when you add that extra peak brightness of 2000 nits on top of that wide spectrum of colors that QLED has, and then you add full array of local dimming zones. I don't know how many local dimming zones, but the number is pretty high with the Q9OR 2019. When you add all of that, and then you add 4K resolution with HDR, and then this gaming low latency mode, you're simply going to just love it and enjoy it. I haven't seen anybody complain about the QLED. The only complaint I heard from QLED is the fact that it doesn't have a Dolby Vision. That's like the only minus. If Q9OR had Dolby Vision, that would be it, man. For me, that would seize the deal. I think Google Stadia, it's a technology works, but were they messed up with their advertising approach? Superman, that could be it too. It could be that they were trying to be the first and they were like rushing it out. I think they should have first do some open beta stages and test it to prove to people that it works. If it was an open beta and if they prove to everyone that, hey, this works through open beta, then I think they would be set for April. I think they should have launched it in April. By April, they would have everything ready to be on board, and it would have been a much, much better launch if they did it in April. I think they made a mistake by launching this thing in November. Just bought the Nano 9 LG. Well, cool, man. I hope you like it. Yeah, sure, Stadia USA, man. Like I said, we'll try to get it done on Friday. Hopefully I can get it done on Friday. The thing is, man, lately I've been having all sorts of different things going on. I like to take it one day at a time because there's so many obstacles lately I've been dealing with. There's always something going on. You wake up, you got to deal with this, you got to deal with that. So I like to take everything one day at a time, but we'll definitely keep in touch. And like I said, I want to do it Friday. If we can do it Friday, I would love to do it Friday with you, possibly Friday afternoon or something like that. Um, and definitely Friday. I would love to. I would love to do it Friday. Don't worry about the hate, man. Don't pay attention to that stuff. Don't pay attention to them, and uh, I don't worry about that kind of stuff, man. Just ignore it. Dreamcast guy will never debate me. Young, yeah, will never debate me because he doesn't want to give me any. Because he knows I'm gonna get publicity, and he knows I'm gonna get the upper hand, and he doesn't like that. You know, these individuals are only after one thing only: money, and they're smart. I'll give them that. They are smart. They know what they're doing, but they also know I'm also smart, and I know what I'm doing. And they also know if they put me in a debate with them, they also know I'm going to win that thing. They know I'm going to win by huge margin. Can you list those upscalers? Do you ever sleep, man? I do. I do sleep. I do. As a matter of fact, I did. I slept last night. I went to bed at 2 o'clock, woke up at 9:30, did some errands and whatnot. Then I came back. Um, I was trying to get the Gran Turismo VR to work, but it was glitching. It was not working. So I had some issues with that. I think something wrong with my PlayStation 4 Pro Kratos edition. TCL is great. It's in my living room. R617 is great. It's beautiful colors. It has a NBP photon technology, which is pretty much a cousin of quantum dots. It's similar to quantum dots. Has a great spectrum of colors. Has a lot of local dimming zones, and it has a pretty decent peak brightness on there. So TCL R617 for $600. It's a dude. It's the best deal you're gonna get. Of course, there's a time difference, man. I'm in America. It's a 6 hour difference, depending where you are in Europe. If you're like in Spain, Belgium, Romania, it might be 7 hours. If you're like in Balkans region, like Croatia, Macedonia, Serbia, Switzerland, 6 hours. If you're in England, it's 5 hours, mate. 5 hours, mate. In Northern England. Matt, I think I just did. NVIDIA Shield Pro and the Oppo UDP 203. Honestly, NVIDIA Shield Pro and Oppo UDP 203. Those two are your best bets. Those are the best upscalers out there that I know of. Everything else is just like Oppo UDP 203. It's just outstanding. It even has the pass-through, HDMI in, pass-through. So you can connect whatever you want to connect, plug it in, and then upscale that son of a bitch. Oppo UDP 203, man. I know it's expensive, but man, you gonna be blown away how well that shit upscales. Now, there's NVIDIA Shield Pro. That's the cheapest route. NVIDIA Shield Pro is the cheapest route. But right now, currently, NVIDIA Shield Pro, it's sold out. Whenever it becomes available, I'm going to get one. It's, 11:10 in Italy. Italy, yes. So, Ibrahimovic now it's part of AC Milan. How about that, snoozer? How about that? And Edin Dzeko moved to Roma, right? Sarajevo. Oh, well, the Sarajevo's dobro. Sarajlija. Gdje su ćevapi in ćevapčići I burek? Mr4K, would it be possible if you could do a more in-depth PlayStation 4 HDR settings. Please, sorry to be a pain. Nah, it's not a pain. It's just, man, whenever I find the time to do it, whenever I find a chance to do it, I get so many requests. I get so many, questions asked. So sometimes, man, something else happens and then I can't do it. Sometimes I have to put my priorities first because you don't know. Tomorrow I might have to deal with something. Uh, you don't know. Your car might break down. You might have to fix your car, or your health insurance not working properly. They lost your account or some shit. You got to deal with that, or you got to deal with this. You got to deal with that. There's always something you got to deal with. It's not like uh, you know. Flowers and oranges, and puppies running around on the field, and beautiful angels floating around. It's not that type of a life. There's always something that happens that it's out of my hands and out of my control that I have to deal with. So things can change. Like today, for example, I was gonna do a Gran Turismo VR, but guess what? The man upstairs says it ain't happening, cousin. It ain't happening. So I can only control to what I can control, but all these other things is out of my control. Um, Let me see. Oh, Milan plays tomorrow against who, Stefan? Against who they're playing? I might have to watch that if I can. Sorry about that. I just hit my microphone. I hit my microphone. My microphone has been hit. The brand name of the headphones is the Razer. Naga. Razer. Naga. Naga mean the snake. The snake. It's just a Razer. And these are custom. See, I actually customized these. You see, they're all customized. You see, there's nothing on the top. These are my cushions. I custom put my own cushions. So I like to customize my shit. So it's Mr4K customizable. Oh, cool. Thank you, Stefan. I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch that tomorrow. Hold on. I'm definitely gonna watch that tomorrow. That's better. Does the NVIDIA Shield Pro upscale my cable box 1080p out and pass through the NVIDIA? No, because NVIDIA Shield Pro doesn't have the HDMI pass-through input. So unfortunately, you can't do that. The only way to do that is through Oppo UDP203, because Oppo UDP203 has a very powerful chip that's going to upscale whatever it is that you are passing through on that HDMI input. And it's a gold-plated HDCP 2.2 pass-through HDMI 2.0 input. So when you connect your Nintendo Switch with HDMI 2.1 ultra-high-speed cable, HDMI, through the input of pass-through Oppo UDP203, I guarantee you that Zelda will look much, 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 much better. I'll do a video on that one of these days, guys. I know you want to see that. I'll try to do a 4K 60 video to record it, to show it to you. But remember, man, seeing through a camera, it's like that video I did yesterday, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Watching it through a camera, you're not seeing the accurate colors. You're not seeing the accuracy that I see with my own eyes. So to truly appreciate how something looks, you got to see it in person. And believe me, looking through videos, compressed videos, it's not, because the lens cannot depict the color accuracy of that television. Only your retina eyes can do that. Let's see what else is it. Fake headsets like fake 4K. Yeah, of course, man. It's all fake. Everything's fake. Those 3 cell phones down there are fake too. See what else we got. Hey, Mr4K, how's it going? Want to get Oppo 2 but eBay it's so overpriced, $1,500. I think I'm getting Panasonic. Panasonic, it's not bad. UB900 is not bad, but remember, there's a lot of features missing on that Panasonic that Oppo has, you know. And I only paid $600 for Oppo, man. I'm so glad that I purchased the Oppo, and love it. Should I get an LG C9 this year or wait for an affordable 8K TV? I see one, you know, I was talking about this earlier. I personally don't like recommending people what to buy, because if I recommend something, people are going to say, hey, dude, you recommended this TV, man. I feel like I'm ripped off now. Why did I listen to you? Blah, 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 blah. So for that reason, I really don't like recommending. What I can tell you is that with C9, with the OLED, you're definitely going to get a great picture quality. There's no question about that. Organic light emitting diodes are definitely going to bring you that nice, beautiful, crystal clear picture quality. However, if you step into affordable 8K television like TCL that's coming out this summer, I think you're going to be among the very first to experience what 33 million pixels can do on a 70-inch TV. And I think, in my opinion, you were better off getting something like a 8K, because listen, 33 million pixels will make, regardless of what you are watching, is going to make that content look good. Okay. Because you got a powerful chip inside that's going to upscale 33 million pixels of whatever it is that you're watching. So I don't know. I mean, it's up to you, but I think I would wait. I would wait for 8K. Get yourself an affordable 8K television, 70-inch, and you know, remember, you're stepping up into 33 million pixels. 33 million pixels, my friend. That's the best detail that you're gonna get. NVIDIA Shield Pro looks to be available on Amazon. Really? Cool. Then I'm gonna pre-order it. Thanks, Ron John. My my Amazon assistant, Amazon assistant, Ron John in the house. 38 years old, Zlatan Ibrahimovic rules. Yes, but so does Edin Dzeko, and so does you know, Messi, and so does Cristiano Ronaldo, and so does Pjanic, and so does Djukic, and so does Modric, and so does a lot of other players. I hate to pick and choose a favorite, man. This is why I'm so glad I'm not a fanboy of anything, you know. And I know people would want me to be a fanboy. I had some people whom I had to block because they were so angry at me that I was not a Sony fanboy. Said, I donate money to you. How come you're not a Sony fanboy? I said, well, why did you donate? You should have known I'm not a Sony fanboy, you know. And then I had people who wanted me to be an Xbox fanboy, and I'm like, well, I'm not a fanboy. And I know there's some Stadia fans out there who are begging for me to be a Stadia fanboy. They're begging me. But I said, I can't do that, man. I can't be a fanboy of anything. It's against my principle. Jaco, yeah. Don't mention him in the same sentence with Zlatan. Uh-oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, uh-oh. Jaco is good, man. What about Pjanic, man? Can we put him in there as well? What about Modric? Man, Modric almost took Croatia to the... They almost won the World Cup, man. What about Modric? Jesus. I mean, Mr4K's sculpture, are you getting the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5? I'm getting PlayStation 5 first. I'm getting PlayStation 5 first because X Series X, I will be able to buy it. It's not going to be difficult for me to buy the X Series X. And on top of that, I already have a very powerful PC, so I can play a Halo Infinite on my powerful PC. I can play Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 on an ultra wide screen on my powerful PC. I can play all those games from X Series X. So I'm not like that crazy about X Series X. I will get it eventually, but it's not my priority. My priority is PlayStation 5, the toilet seat. Because God knows I love to sit on my toilet and I like to take a dump for quite a long time while reading the mean tweets. Lionel Messi rules. Here we go. Here we go. It has begun. Hi, Mr4K Obstacle from Toronto in Canada. Cheers, Cameron D. Thank you, man. How you doing? How's everybody doing in Canada? Speaking of Canada, man, a lot of Sasquatch activity out there. Here we go. Ron John joining the battle royale. Red versus blue, blue versus yellow, yellow versus red. Go figure that out, which color is which. What happened to our Modern Warfare game? My PlayStation is glitching, and I couldn't find you. I type in Glenn 1979, can't find you. And plus, my PlayStation is not working properly. It's glitching. So I have to take it apart, clean the fan, see what's going on. Tomorrow I have to call Sony. I have to contact Sony. I need to speak to Sony representative. Not chat. No. I don't want to chat with some bot. I want to talk to a human being from Sony. An actual human from Sony. Not a bot, a human. So I need to talk to them tomorrow to find out what the heck's going on with my Sony. What's happening? Is my Sony hijacked and what's going on? Is it kaput? Is it done? Is it over? I need to find out what the heck's going on. So that's why. Otherwise, I would have played Modern Warfare with you, man, for sure. I'm buying a OS 5, but also Xbox just for Microsoft Flight Sim. Okay. Cameron D, thank you, D. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it very much. Hello, Mr4K. You getting ready for CES? Yeah. But when is it? Is it this Friday or this Monday? Or is it Monday? Are they going to start Monday? January 6th, right? I think it's Monday. Well, actually, let's see when it is. When it's the... Let's go type it in, man, really quick. CES 2020. I know that what's his name is going to be there. Hello, my name is Tito, and I'm here to talk about. Hold on. When it's CES. When it's CES happening, January 7th through 10th. So on Tuesday, cool. Samsung Hyun-Sung Kim to deliver keynote at CES. What else we got? All right, so it's Tuesday through Saturday, I guess. Mr4K, do you think the Series X will hit 8K, including the PlayStation 5? I think they're going to do checkerboard. It's not going to be native 8K, but having the checkerboard 8K is still going to look freaking awesome on your 8K television. Guys, it's going to be mind-blowing. Even though it's checkerboard, but that checkerboard source, it's going to be so freaking good on that 33 million pixels. So, yeah. The game's gonna look freaking amazing, dude. On the PlayStation 5 and the X Series X, you guys gonna be blown away. You guys gonna throw away your PlayStation 4. You guys gonna throw away your Xbox One X? You're gonna say the hell with this shit. This shit here is better. But you're gonna need an 8K television, obviously, to utilize that. Let's see what else we got. Stadia or Xbox Series X? Uh, both. Rogers, both. Are you gonna buy The Last of Us 2? Yes. Part 2, yes. Days Gone and Modern Warfare are both suffering from graphics not loading properly. London, what's going on with Sony, man? What is going on? Let me see. No chance, Cameron, not for a few years. Anyway, they need to have a predictive algorithm that works to stop latency. Stadia, is Stadia going to become the standard of gaming, force consoles to evolve to online gaming streaming? Cameron, I think it's a step by step. This is just the entry level of cloud gaming. It's not going to happen till this PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X cycle dies off. It's going to take about 8 to 9 years, and around 2031, my prediction is around 2031 is where officially the only way to play is going to be through cloud gaming. And of course, for those of you who have a PC, we'll still have that option to download digitally and play. But for everybody else, I think it's going to be cloud gaming by 2031. That's what I think. That's my prediction. But it's not going to happen this year. It's not going to happen next year. It's not going to happen year after that year. It's going to happen as a standard by 2031. I'm confident by 2031, fourth quarter, yeah, everything's going to be on the cloud. Your movies, your music, your video games, your streaming, everything inside the pot, inside that one television. So your television will have everything. Click of a button. How cool is that? Your television, your phone, your tablet will do everything. And you'll take it everywhere you go. How cool is that? But that's 2031. And we're not going to be using this for virtual reality, by the way, just so everybody understands. This is going to be laughable because this is too heavy. And I'll show you in a minute. Right now, this is Oculus Quest. Oculus Quest, people are going to say, well, where do you pull all this shit? You pull out of your ass? Yes, I pull all this stuff out of my ass. I have a big ass that can fit. This is too heavy. Still, it's too heavy. And by 2031, you'll put like very lightweight visors, built-in speakers inside and everything. Very lightweight visors. And those visors will be Wi-Fi wireless technology that's going to be able to connect to a cloud center and have you connect to whoever you want to connect to, Skype to whoever you want to Skype to, start playing games with whoever you want to play games, start playing VR games, start doing everything in virtual reality with those augmented Halo visors, VRs, very lightweight visors. That's in 2031. This is going to be laughable. People are going to laugh at this shit. They're going to look at this like, what is this, man? Am I supposed to eat my noodles from it or something? Right now, it's good for 2020. But come 2031, this will be laughable. The reason I'm showing this is because I want you guys to understand how technology evolves. It doesn't matter how we feel. It doesn't matter if I like it or you don't like it or whether you're happy the way things are or not. Technology doesn't care. Technology evolves, and either you adapt to it or you don't. But you'll have no choice. You know, if you want to live with the rest of civilization, you're going to have to adapt to new technology. Unless you want to live into the woods with the Sasquatches, then you don't have to worry about adapting to technology. You can just live there. But pretty soon, they will have satellite internet. So even the Sasquatches will have internet. So they're going to be modernized too. What else we got going on? Blue paint, tuna colorblind. Hold on a second. I got so many. You guys have so many questions, man. Does it piss you off also that Dice EA turned off UK servers and never brought them back? Yes, it does piss me off. It does, as a matter of fact, you know. But that's EA for you. That's EA. They did the same thing with Need for Speed. So, uh, let's see what else we got. Mr4K, do you think developers have utilized the Xbox One X power to the metal yet? That's a good question. No, no, not yet. Uh, uh, some people would say, what about Forza? No, I think they still can squeeze more with the Xbox One X. But you have to remember, they've been very lazy with developers. Developers are not utilizing that power. You know, in 2017, we were promised by Phil Spencer that developers are going to utilize and harness all that power. They're going to use all that power. And we all believed Phil Spencer, yes, they're going to utilize and harness all that power. But it turns out they're not utilizing. Maybe we'll see that with Halo Infinite and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I think with Halo Infinite and Flight Simulator 2020, we'll see that happen with the Xbox One X. I think the Xbox One X will show us what it's capable of with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and Halo Infinite when it comes out this holiday season. I think those two games. Let's see. I have to clean out my fan too. I have to see what's going on. Will physical discs for consoles disappear? Meaning you will only be able to download them. Yes, Cameron D. This is going to happen slowly but surely. It's going to happen. It's just inevitable. You know, there's nothing we can do about it. It's just, it's like a Titanic that's headed to the iceberg and you can't stop it. It's going to hit the iceberg. That's the destiny. Yeah, it's going to happen. 100%. But it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time, but slowly but surely, they're going to fade away. Let's see. Delete some games from your hard drive. That's not a bad idea. But you see, Rolando, if you have a Google Stadia, you don't have to worry about that stuff. You see, London, if you have a Google Stadia, you don't have to delete anything. It's all there for you. You just click and you're good to go. I was wondering, let me see. London says, I was wondering that as I only got 20 gigabyte of HDD left. Oh, that's bad, dude. You need to clean up some shit. Clean it. Clean it. Cleanse that. Cleanse it. Cleanse it. No, Sony wants you to buy. They're not going to give you. They want you to buy 8 terabyte, 10 terabyte, $150, $200 hard drive. They're not going to give it to you. Sony is not in business of giving things away. Come on. Oh, my Lord. Come on, guys. What is the PlayStation 5 hard drive going to be? Hope it's more 3 terabyte. Possibly 3 terabytes. Hey, what's up, David McKenzie? How you doing? Let me see. Do I think, Cameron D asked, do I think PlayStation 5 will be able to play 4K movies from the real disc that you buy from Best Buy? That's a good question. Possibly. When they had that interview with, long time ago, it was last year, with Mark Cerny, they did mention something about the 4K player. I think there will be a 4K player. But then again, Then again, Sony has been so secretive. It's like an Area 51, man. It's like you can get nothing out of them. So I think they will. But then again, I could be wrong. It would be nice if they do that. But if I'm right that physical media is dying and it's slowly dying, they're not going to invest into putting a 4K player in there. If physical media is dying, they're not going to care, I think. But that's a good question. That is a really good question. And don't be surprised, Cameron D. Don't be surprised if there's no PlayStation, if there's no 4K Blu-ray player in there. Don't be surprised. I have the HT. What was it? HT 7 something Sony. I have a HTNT 7 something 700. It's about what was it? It was actually it's pretty good with a subwoofer. It's about 250. I think 250. The last time I checked, that's the watts that it has on there. The amps, the watts you want to call them, 250, which is pretty good for a sound bar, I guess. 250, I think. It's 250 watts. I know it's not much, but it's still good for a for a sound bar. I mean, and that sound bar that I have, it gets the job done, honestly. They will have a 4K Blu-ray inside, I guarantee it. They already said. Oh, did they? All right. Well, there you go. Apparently they will. What's your favorite game in the movie of all time? My favorite game in the movie of all time has to be, my favorite movie has to be, I mean, there's so many, but if I have to choose and pick one, I would say for sure Space Odyssey 2001, man. I just love that movie. It's one of those movies. It's so timeless. It's so hypnotic and timeless, and it's one of those movies that is just made forever. Really, it's almost like Stanley Kubrick had aliens helping him make this movie back in the 60s with the writer, what's his name, Arthur C. Clarke. And it's just that movie is so goddamn timeless. That movie, because of that movie, we have Star Wars, we have Close Encounters of the Third Kind, we have Battlestar Galactica. Because of that movie changed everything. It's one of the greatest movies ever made in cinema history. There's nothing that comes close to it. And nothing will ever come close to 2001 Space Odyssey, ever. So that movie is just like, it's a holy grail for me personally. My favorite game has to be the original Metal Gear, Metal Gear Solid. The tactical espionage game from place. That's the reason I bought a PlayStation. I bought a PlayStation because of that game. I went to my friend's house, and then he showed me the demo. Because when you buy a PlayStation, he bought a PlayStation in '98, and there was a disc inside, and he played me this demo of this game called the Metal Gear, and I was like, dude, this is awesome. I said, who is this? Snake? Is this like Escape from New York? Because this guy sounds like Kurt Russell, like a Snake Plissken or something. Dude, I gotta get this game. Dude, I was like, hell yeah. And the guy who was the colonel looked like the colonel from the Rambo movie. And I was like, dude, I gotta get this fucking game. So I went to the Target, I bought it, I was playing the demo, and then I told you a story. I had to drive all the way to Miami, North Miami, to pick up and pay $80. I told the guy to save it for me. Only one copy left. I said, please save it for me. Save it for me. And I paid, $60 for the game, and I gave him $20 extra as a bonus because he was holding a game for me. That was Electronic Boutique. It was not Stop. It was not a GameStop. It was Electronic Boutique. EB. Back then in 1998, it was called the EB, Electronic Boutique. And I went down there and I got the, how many? 3 discs, 4 discs? I forgot how many it was. That game, that's it. Fell in love with that game. Fell in love with Hideo Kojima. And ever since that game, you know, I was like, fuck. I never touched my Nintendo 64. I never touched my Sega Saturn. I played a little bit of a D and an NBA, but NBA Live. I played a little bit of NBA Live. But other than that, I didn't touch my Nintendo 64 unless friends show up at my house and we play GoldenEye. I was strictly playing PlayStation, you know, Metal Gear, Resident Evil 2, Silent Hill. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. And dude, man, that console was just so that game, yeah, Metal Gear and Space Odyssey 2001. Yep. What's your favorite game from your childhood in the arcades? The lunar landing on Spectrum ZX. You guys ever played a lunar landing where you have to use a joystick and slowly adjust the lunar to land properly? You have to use a little bit of a thruster to keep it up. You have to gently land this lunar module. It has to land perfectly on the moon. So the lunar module has to perfectly land on the moon. And that game, dude, I played the shit out of that game. And then after that, I got into games like Paperboy, Track and Field, Karate Kid, what else? RoboCop. Oh, tons of games, dude. Actually, Stadia USA, I can play it right now. I have my PlayStation 3 Fat. I have my PlayStation 3 Fat, and I can play it. And I have Metal Gear 1, 2, and 3. And I can play it right away. I can play it on there right away. Because my PlayStation 3 Fat can play my original PlayStation 1 games, PlayStation 2 games, and of course, PlayStation 3 games. And I have my PlayStation 4. So technically, I'm just thinking about this. So technically, if I wanted to become a Sony fanboy, I have all the right ingredients to become a Sony fanboy. But I'm not. But I have all the ingredients to become a Sony fanboy. Do I remember Operation Wolf? No, London. I don't remember that one. Yes, so much innovations back then. Commodore 64, man, so many games. But my biggest gripe with Commodore 64 was a cassette. You have this little cassette player. You got to put you order the games through a magazine, and they put all the games on the cassette. They send it to you through mail, and then you got to open it through mail. You got this cassette. You take this cassette, you put the cassette inside, close it, press play, system ready, wait for it to load. But most of the time, there's an error. And you constantly have to use a mini screwdriver to adjust the head so you can get the system ready instead of system error. And I remember dealing with that nightmare constantly, dude. Oh, brutal. It was brutal, man. Dealing with that nonsense. Oh, good Lord. Like you're listening to that sound. Dude, and then you trying to adjust it. You're trying to adjust the damn head. But you know what? It was great. You know what? When I think about it, I enjoyed it. Fuck, dude. It's a great experience. Press play on a tape, yes. Same thing with the Spectrum ZX Sinclair. Now, Amiga came in, Amiga 500, with a floppy disk. I remember my friend, he was always picking on me. Guess what? I can play a RoboCop, 3D RoboCop game. I have a floppy disk. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got a floppy disk, but you got a cassette. You have to press play on your cassette. So there was that too. So there was a fanboyism. Listen, fanboyism was in the 80s as well, but it wasn't as big as it is now. Don't get me wrong, there were still fanboys in the 80s, okay? But they weren't as big as they are right now. Right now, it's just like a juggernaut of fanboys. It's just like a juggernaut. Yes, DZ games. I don't remember that. Listen, man, I never got into that. I was really playing mainly old like whatever's like trending. I was playing those type of games. I would buy a magazine and I would look through magazine to see what they have, and then I would order the games, and they would show up from. Actually, there was a place in Belgrade, in Serbia. I used to live in Sarajevo. There was a place in Belgrade, and then I would have to order those games from Belgrade, and they would ship it to me, and then I would get them, and then I would play them. But I was playing mainly like track and field, Paperboy, um, Karate Kid 1 and 2. What else? Predator. I played a shit out of Predator and RoboCop and Batman. Yes, Batman. The Jack Nicholson, Michael Keaton version. Yeah. But I didn't play like, because here's the thing. SNES came aboard, and I got bitten by the SNES and Sega. That's why I stopped with Commodore and Amiga, because Sega and Sega Genesis and SNES came out, Super Nintendo, and Sega Genesis, and I'm like, hey, guess what? Put the cartridges in. I don't have to worry about the damn freaking tape. The hell with the tape and the screwdriver. And I got so hooked with Super Nintendo, and I got so hooked with Sega Genesis. So that's where my transition happened in 1987. Yes, I remember Philips CDI, but I never bought it. But I know some people did, and they had nothing but difficult time with that. Both Xbox and PlayStation 5 are releasing on the same date. What will be competition be like between them? Is one going to be far ahead of the other based on the history? It depends on how you look at it, Cameron D. The way I look at it is both systems have something to offer. But what's going to appease to you, what's going to be something that you're going to like, will depend on you. You have to look at both consoles. You have to see what they have. One thing that Xbox got going on for them is the Game Pass Ultimate. Game Pass Ultimate, it's really probably the most affordable gaming service out there. You get tons of games with the Game Pass Ultimate, and you can play it on your PC, on your console. So with the Game Pass Ultimate, you're getting tons of games for less money, meaning you can save more money and still be a gamer and play games. With Sony, you're going to spend a lot of money and you're not going to save any money, but you're going to be a gamer. But you're going to be on Sony ecosystem. Sony ecosystem, it's expensive. Microsoft ecosystem, as far as the games, it's more affordable, in my opinion. And with the Microsoft, I think you're getting a far better deal saving money. Because the games are expensive. $60 here, $50 there. The DLC, another $40 here. All of that shit adds up. And, which one's going to be better? Again, it will depend on the type of games that you want to play. There's going to be certain games on the PlayStation 5 that you can only play on the PlayStation 5. and eventually you're going to have to purchase that PlayStation 5 because the only way you can play that game is through PlayStation 5. So it really depends. I think both consoles will have something to offer, but which one will appease to you, that will depend on you. That will depend on your preference and what is it that you want to play. Mario Hotel was on it. CDI. I know a lot of stuff you can buy on eBay. I saw a Spectrum ZX Sinclair on eBay. I saw Commodore 64, perfectly running Commodore 64 with a cassette player and some games. Surprisingly, they had a Predator and a RoboCop on there with a track and field, with a cassette, original packaging in a cassette. You can get it for like, how much was it? It was actually pretty expensive, like $250. I was like, Jesus Christ. But that's the guy, he's bidding. It's $250 right now. He might lower the price. I don't know. Microsoft has to play a strong game or don't play at all and just give up on consoles. Now it's the time to hurt Sony. I don't know. I mean, I don't think Microsoft is competing with Sony, honestly. I think they're just doing their own thing. And Sony's not competing with anyone, honestly, either. They're doing their own thing because they're doing pretty good. Right now, they're sitting pretty. It's not like they're struggling. They're not struggling with anything. And that's why they're not putting any effort to be outspoken and show you this, show you that, because they don't have to. Because they're doing pretty good. Cameron D says, Sony, hold on, London. Of course, London. Cameron D says, since PlayStation 5 will be backwards compatible with all the previous systems, will be PlayStation 4 be dead? I mean, pretty much. If you can play all your PlayStation 4 games and all your PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 games with PlayStation 5 games, if you can play all of your PlayStation games on that one console, then there's no reason for you to have that PlayStation 4 Pro anymore. I mean, you can give it to somebody, you can sell it, whatever. I mean, you can use it in the spare room, I guess, for the guests or something. But there won't be any purpose. There won't be any reason for you to turn it on. You know what I mean? So. Oh, yeah, that's true, Alan. One of the cool things about the Commodore 64 and Spectrum ZX was the fact that you can write your own programs. You can create your own games. And so being a programmer back then was pretty cool. My brother, he became a programmer based on the Commodore 64 and Spectrum ZX, because that's where he learned how to code all these codes and everything and type in. So, yeah. Zelda and Mario rules them. Oh, yeah, Zelda is freaking awesome. Speaking of Nintendo, I've been hearing a lot lately. A lot of people have been telling me that Nintendo it's looking to make a new console called Nintendo Pro, like Nintendo Switch Pro. And supposedly Nintendo Switch Pro will utilize 4K and HDR and possibly virtual reality. I think if one console should have 4K and HDR, in my opinion, it's Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch with games like Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart 8, Zelda, for crying out loud, Zelda, Legend of Zelda, these games will look beautiful in native 4K with HDR at 60 frames per second. I mean, it will just look super gorgeous on that OLED, on that 4K QLED, on that 8K upscaled TCL or QLED, Samsung, whichever one you choose. I think Nintendo definitely needs to step up and make a 4K HDR console. I mean, imagine all those games and how beautiful they're gonna look, man. Oh, you playing on the ultra high, on the ultra hard mode? Man, you good. You're good with Days Gone. Hold on. Pup, 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 pup. Hey, Kostanchik, boo. What my settings are for Q9 and Q8. All those settings are out there on my YouTube channel. You just have to search Q8FN settings with my name, and they're gonna show up. They're gonna pop on the search YouTube. You just have to search for them. All those videos are there. You just got to search. Because it's better if you see the video, so that way you understand why I moved sharpness to this level, why I turned off this filter, why I'm using this filter, why the tone of color is native and it's not automatic, why am I doing what I'm doing. It's better if you watch those videos, so that way you understand why I did what I did for that preset. Because I have many different presets for Q8FN. I have game mode presets. I have 4K HDR movie preset. I have a game HDR presets. So I have tons of presets on the Q8FN. What 4K TV has disappointed you the most? Oh, that's easy. TCL P605. P605 was just like the colors are washed out. Everything on that TV just looks too bright. The black digital levels are, no matter how much you lower them down, they still look bright. It's just the contrast ratio was not that good. Very disappointed with a P605. P605 TCL is probably, even TCL is disappointed with that TV. But I still have it. It's a, I mean, look, it works. It's not, look, it's not a god awful picture. All right. I don't want you guys to think, oh, this is the worst TV ever made. No, it's not the worst TV ever made. Okay. It's still good. It's a decent color. It's a decent contrast ratio, but it's not going to like blow you away. It's not going to make your jaws drop. Okay. So the P605 55-inch TCL 2017, or was it 20? Yeah, 2017. Disappoint me badly. Zelda is so boring. If you like adventures, I think you'll enjoy it. Actually, Alan, I spoke to some of the Air Force pilots, and they say that we have better simulators than what they have. I'm not kidding. They're using some of those old simulators. I mean, they have everything inside the cockpit. Everything's accurate, But in terms of graphics, we have better. Like DCS blows away. DCS, Digital Combat Simulator, blows away the graphics of what they have. This is coming from real fighters, jet fighters, pilots, U.S. Navy pilots, F-18 Hornet, F-35B, C. So this is coming from the pilots, and the pilots are saying basically that we have better simulations on DCS than what they have. So I don't know if the military has the the best simulators. I think we have the best simulators. Isn't that strange? Isn't that weird? But they get to fly the real thing. They get to fire the real thing. They do training, for real. Boots on the ground. So, the best way to train is to train boots on the ground. And that's how they train them. Because that's what you're going to be encountering out there. The real people, the real enemy, and you cannot make a mistake. You have to be super, super accurate, and it's a life and death situation. You know, you gotta make sure. So, listen, being in the military, that has to be very treacherous. Uh, it's. I mean, my hats off to those guys. I don't know how they do it, man. You really have to be built for that stuff. You have to have a mindset. You really have to be living and breathing military. Like nothing else comes to your mind. You're just living and breathing military. Like you have to be a fucking robot, in a sense. All right, let's go see what else we got. Uh, you can emulate it if you have a decent PC. Yes, if you have a decent PC, there's a bunch of emulators out there, guys, for Commodore, for Spectrum ZX, for Atari, for Amiga, for Nintendo, SNES, Genesis. Dude, there's shitload of emulators. For PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, plenty of emulators, but you do have to tweak it. There's a lot of, you have to spend a lot of time tweaking. Same thing with the LSPDFR. A lot of people have been asking me about the Grand Theft Auto LSPDFR. Guys, LSPDFR can be a pain in the ass. You have to spend 2 hours sometimes just to get everything running, to get the textures correct, to get the emergency lights correct, to get the trainer mode and the police radio correct, to get the call outs correct. It's really brutal experience. But once you get everything set up on the LSPDFR, then you can enjoy it, I guess. Another game that it's so difficult, it's called OMC2. OMC2 Bus Simulator. I swear to God, I think I could launch a alien flying saucer faster than me starting a damn bus with the OMC2. I mean, it's one of I have the game, and it's just such a difficult game to start to play. You have to go through so many buttons, so many things, and it's just Oh, really? Okay, maybe they have it now. Maybe they have maybe for the special units to do that stuff. Who knows? Cool. Maybe they do. I mean, they should have it. I mean, trillions of dollars that goes there into that budget. You think that trillions of dollars for the home defense and military? You think they would have something state of the art, right? So it doesn't surprise me. But the pilot I spoke to, he's a veteran. He doesn't fly anymore, but he says back in the days when he used to fly, back in 1998 and 1999, they didn't have like super high end simulators and stuff like that. You love those simulators games, don't you? I love them, but some of them are so difficult, man. Some of them are like super super difficult. There's one game I want to try called the Space Shuttle. It's on a PlayStation VR. It's basically you launching a space shuttle and working on a Hubble telescope, fixing the Hubble telescope, and then coming back safely to Cape Canaveral, to the Earth, and then going back again and working on a Hubble, bringing some other materials. Uh, I want to try that. It's in VR. I might give it a. But first, I need to fix my PlayStation. My PlayStation's taking a dump. I need to work on that first. You know, Game Buffett. God willing, I'll be in the film school soon. I should buy an Alienware desktop since I don't how or want to build a PC. Alienwares are pretty good actually. I have an Alienware. I had Alienware for quite a long time, and you know, I wouldn't say they're the best PCs. I think you can have better options out there if you customize it yourself. But they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Do I think the Tomb Raider trilogy will ever run on 4K 60 FPS? Yes, I think it will. As soon as they update their GPUs and their CPUs, soon as they update their cloud data centers, yeah. And as soon as they release a new Chromecast Ultra that's going to utilize a much better much better buffering and everything, rendering. So yeah, it will happen, man. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. You have to remember, Google Stadia. It's not like a console. It's a data center, so they can pretty much update and they can do whatever they want to do. Really, there's no limits to what Google Stadia can do. You just need internet, and that's it. Hey, Steven, how you doing? Being frozen and speaking about flight reminds me of Forever Young with Mel Gibson. Yeah, that was a great movie. Forever Young, Air America with Robert Downey Jr. That was a good one too with Mel Gibson. The Xbox One X color bit output. Yeah, go ahead. Gamer Buffett, I cannot do it tonight. Tonight, I got some stuff I have to take care of, so I won't be able to do it tonight. Originally, I wanted to do Gran Turismo Sport, but it didn't work out. No, tonight I cannot do it tonight. Tonight I won't be able to do anything tonight. Tonight I won't even be home tonight. So tonight I disappear like a Dracula in my coffin. What do you think PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2 will cost realistically on launch day? 500, probably 500 to 600. 500, 600. That's what I'm guessing. 500 to 600. No, man. This is different. I wish it was a date. This is different. Phil Spencer giving you life updates. No, tonight just got something I got to take care of. Believe me, guys, it's not fun being me. I got a lot of stuff I have to take care of. Being me, it's very dense and stressful. You don't want to be me. Believe me. Trust me. If you step into my shoes just for like 1 hour, you're gonna beg to come out of my shoes and go back to your original self. It ain't fun being me. Trust me. But I keep my life private. I mean, I know you guys are wondering, but that's because I don't want you to know. All right. I like to keep my life private. That's the choice I make. And it makes it kind of fun for you guys to wonder, where does Mr4K go? What is he doing? What's happening? Who is he? Fight going to break out? No fight's going to break out, man. I'm too old for that shit, man. That's back when I was younger, when I was 18 years old, when I was 17. But now I'm old, man. Now I'm using this thing right here. What kind of internet does Serbia have, and what would gaming be like if you were still living over there? I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'm the person to ask that question. I think Rolando Tech, he's from Sarajevo. I think he can tell you. I think that question is definitely from Rolando Tech. He can tell you probably better than me with what they have over there and what they're running. I know their economy is not the greatest. I know that, it's not the best. But again, I would ask him. He probably knows better than me. Colonel, my cover has been broke. Otacon, I blame you, Otacon. Better Sao Paulo. Patera Sao Paulo. I'm using LG TV 1080p, using the console option 36 bits per pixel. That's because the RGB gives you a better contrast ratio uh, instead of YUV 420. Uh, but remember, you might have to adjust the black digital levels when you use a PC RGB on certain games. Certain games will look crushed with the black digital level. You might have to adjust the black digital levels a little bit if you choose the RGB, full RGB PC option. Not good enough for Stadia. I have 35 down, 5 up. Oof, that's bad. Oof, oof, that hurts. Just you telling it to me right now, Ronaldo. Oh, oof, that hurts. That's bad. That's bad. Forget Stadia, dude. You shouldn't even. You shouldn't even dream. You shouldn't. Stadia shouldn't in your vocabulary. Stadia should not be in your vocabulary. You should just erase Stadia. Zinger Tower Burger from KFC. I would not go to KFC, man. KFC, they found a rat in a KFC, like a cooked rat, seasoned cooked rat. They found it in KFC. So, true story. I'm not making this up. You don't want to go to KFC. What I recommend you should do is cook your own meat. Go to a butcher. Make sure that the butcher it's working with the hunters, and the hunters are bringing the meat to him, and it's a fresh meat. And then buy it from the butcher, and then you cook your own meat. That buying stuff from the restaurants and all these other places, man, it scares the shit out of me. Oh, Cameron D, you're good to go, bro. You are good to go. Cameron D, man, just buy Stadia right now. Oh, you all set, man. You are all set, Cameron D. With that speed, brother, you're 2 thumbs up, way up high. You're good to go. A double cheeseburger from McDonald's. Oh, really? McDonald's? Well, guess what? I don't know. They find a roach inside the cheese, smashed up roach inside, cockroach. So I don't know, man. You don't want to go McDonald's either. Oh, I'm definitely the best advertisement for food. It's like I'm definitely the best guy to advertise the food, for sure. Okay, double cheeseburger. There you go. What tedious exposition for HDR? Car or source? Depends, Kostachink, depends on what type of material are you watching. You have to remember, it's difficult for me to tell you what's the best HDR slider for this or for that, because every preset is different. I don't know what your preferences are. The best way for me to know is if you tell me, what is your preference? What do you want in terms of a preset? What preset do you want to use? Do you want to use a specifically game HDR preset, or do you want a movie HDR preset? Because all of these presets are different. Some games you have to adjust the HDR sliders differently due to the nature of the game and how it looks. So it's not just a simple one ingredient where I tell you, okay, move it up 4 clicks, move the paper white 7 clicks up, move the lumens brightness 12 clicks up. It's not as simple as that. It depends. It depends on what type of preset specifically are you calibrating. Are you strictly calibrating Fortnite? Are you strictly calibrating a sports HDR game mode? what is it that you're strictly calibrating. So it's not that simple. This is why there's so many videos of people adjusting that HDR slider up and down. Look at Evil Boris, for example. How many times he has adjusted Crackdown 3? How many times he has adjusted Resident Evil 2 with his HDR presets? Because it's not as simple one, preset level that you're going to use. They're all different. So, it's something you have to really know exactly what is it that you want, but I have a video for that. I don't know on top of my head which one it is, but I have a video. If you type in my name, PlayStation 4 Pro 7.0 update, HDR slider updates for the PlayStation 4 Pro, there's video of that, me giving you what my preset is for PlayStation 4 Pro Eternal HDR sliders, because PlayStation 4 Pro has its own built-in HDR sliders. And I have a video on that. You just have to search my video. It's all there, brother. You just have to search it, I can't remember top of my head, exactly what it is. But if you search my video, it's all there, dude. It's all there for you. Just search for 7.0 update. That's the update that officially allows you to have HDR sliders built inside the PlayStation. Did you play pirated games with the older systems back in the day before Sony and Xbox eliminated them? I don't remember. I don't think I ever did. I know some people did, but I don't think I ever did. Honestly, I don't think I did. You have to remember, I was also dealing with that Bosnian War, 1992, 1995. So that's 4 years of my time taken away from me. So I missed out on 1992, 1993, 1994, and 1995. So between that period, I totally missed out on a bunch of games. Do I have to do that mandatory? Kenneth Lopez says, what's that? Let me see. Oh, really? On the BBC program? Oh. Well, I'm pretty sure they have it, Alan. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they have it, with it's 2020. I'm pretty sure they're using all kinds of technology right now, especially with Lockheed Martin and subcontractors like that. They're on top of their game, and then you got that company in Boston that's working on the robots and whatnot, and the exoskeleton suits, Boston Dynamics or something like that. There's a bunch of subcontractors. There's contractors you never even heard about. They're out there. They're working on some very high-tech shit. And they're competing with Russians and China. So it's like a competition race. We want to compete with Russians and what they have. And they want to compete with us and what we have. We want to compete with China and what they have. So it's a constant race of constantly they're trying to advance their military technology. It's always been like that since I can remember. It's constantly this race of who can build the better, faster, more advanced technologically, better military, weapon or weapons or technology. Yeah, AI definitely scares me. Robots scares me. Computers, they scare me. Everything that has no soul, spirit, scares the shit out of me. Yeah. And it scares the shit out of Elon Musk. Elon Musk is scared shitless. He specifically said it on his on his interview. He said, "Man, I'm scared. I'm scared of AI and robots and technology." Well, them exosuits, they can help you. You can be like physically disabled. You could have a bad back. You can have arthritis. You don't even have to be that strong. Uh, you can jump onto that exoskeleton suit, and boom, you're gonna feel like Iron Man. You'll be able to do whatever you want to do. You're able to jump up high, climb up. It's crazy, man. Listen, man, the technology, it's evolving so fast, so quick. It's scary, man. There's so much stuff happening that uh, maybe technology will end us. Because right now, technology is controlling us. Everybody's on looking at the laptop. I guarantee you, 98% of people right now, I'll actually 90%, 89%. I'll say 89%. I don't want to count the people who live on, the forest and national parks and whatnot. Let's say 89% of people right now, they're staring at the monitor, they're staring at the camera, they're staring at the laptop, they're staring at the cell phone or a tablet. People are owned by technology. Technology has owned the people. It's already owned the people. We have become the slaves of technology. It's over. And God knows what's going to happen 20 years from now, what technology is going to do to people. But it's not going to be anything positive. Even the guy who I mentioned earlier, Al Bielek, the guy who supposedly traveled in future, he said nothing good will come out of this technology. It's only going to destroy us. However, they will control us pretty much. That scary thought where you have authority, computer AI is the authority, and the robots are the policemen. They're controlling you. And if you make a mistake, if you break a law, that's it. They will not hesitate, not for a second, to terminate you. Um, yeah. So the future looks pretty. I don't know, man. I don't want to be a negative nanny. I like to be positive. I am a positive person, but we have to be realistic, and we have to look at logistically where we are right now and where we might be 20 years from now. Because human nature hasn't changed. Human DNA hasn't changed. We still have that alpha male, that be the best, dominate, conquer, destroy, control. We still have that mentality, and that's still there. That's not going anywhere anytime. So when you have that, and you are creating all this technology, where do you think we're going to be 20 years from now? So I don't know, man. I mean, I hope future it's peaceful and it's good, but part of me, it just, I don't see it, man. I just don't think things are going to get weird. Me personally, I think things are going to get so weird where you're going to be like, you're going to be numb. You're not going to feel happy. You're not going to feel sad. You're not going to feel angry. You're just going to feel like a robot, like robotic. You're going to feel robotic. I got to do what I got to do. 8 o'clock, I do this. 5 o'clock, I do that. 9 o'clock, I do that. 10 o'clock, I go to sleep. Wake up at 8 o'clock again. Repeat again. You're going to feel like robotic mechanism. And I think that's where we're going. That's the way I feel about it. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe James Cameron was right. I'm talking about Jim Cameron, filmmaker. Maybe he was right. Maybe he was right about the Terminator. Maybe there is going to be something like a Skynet, and we are here to create the robots and the AI so that the robots and the AI can destroy us, and then they can evolve. Think about that. Think about that. But this is far in the future, I think. I don't want to name any particular YouTuber. You guys know who they are. You know, they're not that difficult to spot. You know, they're the big YouTubers out there. You know, I don't want to bash anybody here on a live stream because I don't want to be that guy. But there's a handful of them out there. You know, there's a handful of them out there, and they're the big YouTubers, and they're gonna say whatever they need to say to, of course, get their subscription grow, get their sponsors happy. So those are the influential YouTubers. These are the ones that have 1 million subscribers, 2 million, 10 million, quarter of a million. You know, those are the big dogs. And of course, their main focus is to make that. What I think about the World War III. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't happen, because if it happens, that's it. Pack your bags, go to Mars, or go to underground, live underground. And how long are you going to survive underground? I don't know. You don't want that. Nobody should want that. You know, listen, what's done is done. We can't change the past. No one is perfect. No country is perfect. No country is innocent. Every country has done something shitty. So we all just got to drop our differences and think about the future. Like, what do we want to do? Do we want to pull the trigger and commit suicide, or do we want to move forward? It's going to come down to that. What do you want to do? But if it happens, there's nothing I can do about it. You know, there's nothing you can do about it. The only thing you can do is control what you can control. I said this to people many times. I said, control what you can control. You can't control what the other people are going to do. You can't control what the other people are going to think. You can't control what these world leaders are doing. You just gotta, whatever life you have left, enjoy it. Take care of your family, take care of yourself, and move on. Okay? Try to find some small measure of peace. Okay? You're not going to save the world. Okay? You can't save the world. World was never meant to be saved. This is what it is. This is the reality we're in, and that's what it is. All right? So all these little ribbons, save the planet, save this, save that, that's all a bunch of bullshit. We're not saving nothing. Okay? Save yourself and take care of yourself. Use this. Be smart. You're not going to change anything. You're not going to change the world. You're not going to create any peace. It ain't going to happen. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to talk about him, honestly. You know, I don't want to talk about him. He gets enough attention as it is. I don't need to add to the attention. Okay. All right. And I think that's what media should do. They talk about him all the time. Well, you know, you're helping him when you talk about him. Why don't you talk about him, and you'll see how things change quickly when you don't talk about somebody, when you totally ignore it. Joe Rogan. Well, my problem with the Joe Rogan is couple of things. When it comes to the subject of the primates, of Sasquatches and Bigfoot, you know, he was this open-minded individual who would always accept the fact that, hey, there's so much national forest out there that we haven't explored, that we haven't set foot on. Who are we to know what exists there? You know, and for him to say that thousands of people who have encountered these Sasquatches, that they're all unfuckable people, and they're all full of shit, and they're all lying. That's a very shitty thing to say. I don't even find that funny. I find that offensive, and I find it very poor choose, just a poor choice of words, Joe Rogan. You have taken a very poor choice of words. Maybe your colleagues will laugh about it. Maybe your friend circle and your followers will maybe laugh about it. But majority of people will not laugh about it. The majority of people are going to look at it and say, that's a very shitty thing coming from somebody who thinks that his shit doesn't stink. Joe Rogan has turned into a person who thinks that his shit doesn't stinks, who thinks that when he takes a shit in the toilet, that he doesn't stink because he's always right. He could never be wrong. Joe is always right. And he has turned into this mentality. He wasn't like this always. Joe was open-minded. He was open to the fact of other possibilities out there. But Joe has turned into, I'm never wrong. How dare you question me? Tyson Neil deGrasse, even though I'm not a scientist, even though I'm not a physicist, how dare you question my brain, you know? And I don't like that about Joe, the way he has turned into. He has turned into one of those guys that is totally closed-minded right now. And it's just like, come on, man. And then he's attacking people. He's calling people unfuckable. These people are unfuckable. They're disgraced. They're overweight. They're fat. Their children are, overweight and ugly. And come on, man. What the fuck, dude? That's not funny. If you were a comedian, I'd fire you. I'd say, get the fuck off the stage. That's not funny. I don't know what happened to the guy. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe that's what happens when you spend too much time in Los Angeles, too much time in La 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 Land, too much time in Southern California. Maybe that's what happens. Too much of that fantasy living world gets into your head. I always said Los Angeles should be its own planet. Southern California should be its own planet, or its own island or something. It's just I could never live there, man. People are so strange, man. Like, am I talking to a human being, or am I talking to a robot? What am I talking to? I don't know. It's like the way people are in Los Angeles. It's kind of like trying to peel off onion, layers of onion, to finally get to the bottom of who this individual is. And they're like so like, I don't want to use the word fake, but phony. Like so phony, man. Like so phony. It's just you know what? I'll live with the Sasquatches. I'll live with these primates. They're much smarter. They know how to survive in the wilderness. I'll live with them instead of humans. And I guarantee you, if I live with the Sasquatch, I'll survive the apocalypse with the Sasquatch. And that's the reason why they have survived, because they know how to survive. That's why they're so intelligent. Way more intelligent than we are. We're intelligent for what? We're intelligent to create a technology to destroy us, to kill us. That's not intelligence. That's destruction. Symphony of destruction is what it is, But no, we have to hold ourselves to the. There's a quote. Before I end this live stream, one of my favorite individuals of all time in history, it's Nikola Tesla. And there's a quote that Nikola Tesla left before he passed away in New York. I want to read you this quote about Nikola Tesla. And I want to end this stream by this quote that Nikola Tesla left. Here we go. Here's the quote right here. I'm going to read it for you guys. There's a quote that Nikola Tesla left before he passed away. And this quote, I'm going to read it in a snake voice for you guys. Here we go. You may live to see a man-made horrors beyond your comprehensions. So basically, he said, you may live to see man-made horrors beyond your comprehensions. And you know what? Nikola Tesla wasn't kidding. Nikola Tesla was a visionary, possibly saw the future and saw what's possible. And he said that this quote, it's something that should be on the billboards, should be everywhere. You may live to see man-made horrors beyond your comprehensions. And he wasn't kidding. He wasn't kidding. Well, on that note, on that note, guys, I gotta go. I gotta run. And it's been 2 hours and 30 minutes. I didn't expect to do this Q&A this long, but hey, 2.5 hours is pretty good. Thank you guys for stopping by. It's a lot of fun. And tomorrow, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, guys. I have to see. I have to check. I like to take it one day at a time. But there will be something tomorrow. It's just I don't know what. I just have to see what I'm doing tomorrow, what my schedule is, and all that. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for stopping by. It's a pleasure. I thoroughly enjoyed this 2.5 hours. You guys sticking here with me and talking to me for 2.5 hours is it was almost like a podcast for like 2.5 hours, almost like a Joe Rogan podcast. 2.5 hours. Yeah. Remember, you can always watch this later on, 2.5 hours. We'll do more of these. I know you guys want me to do more of these. We'll do it in different settings, you know. So thank you guys for being here. And yeah, look, man, look, I'm a positive person. I always tell people I'm positive, and I always look at everything on optimistic, positive ways. I know that we can, you know, overcome all kinds of. We have overcome so much in the past, and we will overcome everything that comes our way in the future as well. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard, but that's what we are as humans. We thrive to survive and evolve. Thank you, Anton. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Stephen. Absol MMA, Kratom, Rolando. Guys, there were so many of you. It would take me 2.5 hours to read and announce everybody. So many of you showed up, man. Thank you so much. We'll do this again. Well, this is just my very first one that I have done of this year. Okay. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And stay positive. Don't be negative. Enjoy.